The new D&D rules are 100% balanced with 0 exploits. This game is fixed. On an unrelated note, let's talk about some very balanced combos you can do with the new material. Conjure Elementals is a rework of an old spell that was arguably broken, but is now totally fixed. The new one is 4th level and conjures a 15-foot radius of spirits around you for 10 minutes. That area is difficult terrain for your enemies, and any attack you make that hits a creature in that area deals an additional 2d8 damage of one of these damage types. But if you cast this at higher levels, it deals an additional 2d8 damage for each slot level above 4. So a hypothetical level 11 Wildfire Druid or Wizard drops a 6th level Conjure Elementals on themselves a few minutes before combat. Combat starts, they move within 15 feet of an enemy and blast them with a 5th level Scorching Ray. That is 6 attacks for 12d6 fire damage plus 36d8 additional damage. That is an average of 204, and you can do it again exactly the same on your next turn. Even just grabbing Eldritch Blast via a single level in Warlock can grab you 18d8 plus 3d10 every turn from only a cantrip with Conjure Elementals. Any wizard can do this. It's good when you pick it up at level 7 and ridiculous from level 9 onwards. But in terms of damage, that combo is nothing compared with the new Grappler feat. It says your speed isn't halved when you move a creature you are grappling if that creature is your size or smaller. And you can also grapple someone at the same time as dealing damage to them when you make an unarmed strike. So let's say you're a level 4 Moon Druid. You cast the spell Spike Growth and then bonus action Wild Shape into a brown bear. Let's also say, for fun, you cast Long Strider on yourself less than an hour ago. Next turn, you hit a creature with one of your 2 bear attacks, deal 7 damage, and grapple them. Assuming that creature is starting at the edge of the spike growth, you can then run back and forth, dragging only them through the spikes. You are dragging them 50 feet through the spikes. That is 20d4 unavoidable damage. If you toss on 2 levels in Monk, you can double that damage by dashing as a bonus action. 40d4 plus 2 attacks as a bear, and you're throwing out an average of 112 damage on any creature that is large or smaller. And then an ally can grapple them on their turn and do the exact same thing again. Absolute madness. I love it, but we can do better. Let's keep going.
Well. The great D&D shorts finally captured.
What do you want from me?
You will tell us the things we wish to know.
I'll never tell you nothing.
Silence! You will tell us the location of the most brutal D&D build ever, or we will force you to listen to the entire of Katy Perry's new album.
No, you wouldn't.
Oh, wouldn't I? Hans! Play Woman's World!
No, okay, I'll talk.
Speak! Okay, the most brutal, epic D&D builds and monsters. They come from Grim Hollow. Excellent.
Grim Hollow Transformed is the ultimate dark campaign expansion, a refresh of the iconic Grim Hollow setting 100% compatible with 2024 D&D. It's cooking with 40 dark fantasy subclasses, a full Monster Hunter class, a heritage trait system for unparalleled customization of your characters, and 12 transformation options allowing characters to become werewolves, vampires, or specters. It's even coming with D&D Beyond integration, so you can roll up characters, monsters, and everything else right there if you use the platform. But no matter where you play, Grim Hollow is the perfect dark fantasy setting for epic D&D. Out now on Kickstarter, link below. Warcaster used to be among the best feats in the game, and now it's even better. That's all thanks to one tiny change. The new Warcaster says that anytime a creature leaves your reach, provoking an opportunity attack, you can use your reaction to cast a spell with a casting time of 1 action that targets only that creature. The important thing here is the creature provoking the opportunity attack no longer has to be hostile. This means an ally can run past you and you can slap them on the ass with any buff spell you like. Haste, polymorph, cure wounds, heal, greater invisibility, all the spells that are amazing to use on an ally, but annoying to take a full action to do. Now, all those spells effectively have a casting time of 1 reaction, which is amazing. If you've seen a Hasted Barbarian's Rampage, you know how scary that is, and it doesn't even cost the wizard's action anymore. Plus, Warcaster is already an amazing feat. This is pure upside on one of the best feats from 2014. I love this, but it is admittedly possibly too much. These spells cost an action for a reason. The action economy here is frankly ridiculous. But it also promotes teamwork, so kind of awesome. Speaking of uses for the haste spell, let's talk about the new Spirit Guardians, or as it's swiftly becoming known, the Mass Murder Machine. Spirit Guardians is a 3rd level spell that creates a 15-foot aura around you. The first time that aura enters a creature's space, it deals 3d8 damage to that creature, or half as much if they succeed on a saving throw. A creature can only be damaged by the aura once per turn. You can also designate creatures to be immune to your aura when you cast the spell. The old Spirit Guardians was very similar. The crucial difference is this one damages a creature immediately if it moves into their space. So here's where things get crazy. An ally casts haste on you, maybe as you run past them thanks to the Warcaster feat. You can then dash up to 180 feet using your hasted extra action, running around every enemy on the battlefield. You only need to get within 15 feet of each enemy, so no opportunity attacks are going to get triggered. If you're facing down 10 enemies and you cast Spirit Guardians at 5th level, you just dealt 50 D8 damage. That is over 200 damage, but it gets worse because Spirit Guardian says it can only damage a creature once per turn, not once per round. So immediately after your turn, another ally, let's say the monk with the grappler feat, can pick you up, carry you around, and repeat this process for another 50 D8 damage. And then the next ally can do the same, and then the next, etc. If the party builds around this, you have a walking radioactive cleric dealing hundreds of D8s worth of damage in a single round, wiping out entire armies. And of course, if you're evil, you can effortlessly wipe out an entire village of commoners in a single round with this spell. Okay, so while we're on clerics, from level 10, they can choose any cleric spell of 5th level or below that doesn't have a casting time of a reaction and cast it without a spell slot or material components as a single action. The best option here is the new hallow spell, which is even better than it used to be. You can throw down this spell that usually takes 24 hours to cast as a single action and impart one of a bunch of powerful effects in a 60-foot radius. The most powerful option is probably to give all creatures of any creature types you choose vulnerability to any damage type you choose. So you could say that any fiends, fae, elementals, giants, dragons, beasts, or monstrosities have vulnerability to slashing damage, and then laugh as the weapon damage of the rest of your party is doubled. And the new hollow spell does not give the targets a chance at a saving throw. There is literally nothing they can do other than die very quickly or run away, and it doesn't even cost a spell slot. This feature is the single most convincing reason I've heard to convert to whatever religion the average D&D cleric is. So that was a holy combo. Let's talk about a demonic one. Pact of the Chain is a Warlock invocation you can now take from level 1 that lets you summon a Quasit. This Quasit is your demon familiar with an attack that you can use as part of your attack action, which poisons an enemy on a hit. Not bad, but it gets better because from level 5 you can cast the spell Summon Undead. It's a concentration spell that lasts for 1 hour, and the creature you summon has an attack called Rotting Claw. You can command this attack, no action required, and when it hits, it automatically paralyzes a creature that is poisoned. So you use your attack action to get your Quasits to poison a target, and then you immediately follow with your summon to paralyze it. Boom! You have now paralyzed any enemy in the game not immune to those conditions without ever triggering a saving throw. Even creatures with legendary resistances can't escape this. You can do this to an ancient red dragon. And a paralyzed creature is basically dead. any attack made against them has advantage, and any attack that hits them within 5 feet automatically crits. Oh, and they also can't take any actions or move. All of that from just level 5 and no saving throw ever. Okay, so here's a quick one. The coffee lock still works in D&D, even with the new rules. A Divine Soul Sorcerer / Warlock multiclass can burn their Warlock spell slots into sorcery points, burn those sorcery points into Sorcerer spell slots, and then short rest to regain their Warlock spell slots. Rinse and repeat, infinite Sorcerer spell slots and an infinite supply of sorcery points. You only lose your extra spell slots when you long rest, so if you never long rest, you never lose them. There was a rule introduced in Xanathar's guide that gave players a point of exhaustion if they stayed up for more than 24 hours and failed a con save, but that rule isn't in this book. But even if you do use that rule in your games, you can just use one of your infinite 5th level spell slots to cast Greater Restoration, removing the point of exhaustion. It's not a new combo at all, but it is interesting that the most iconic, famously OP combination in the core 2014 5th edition rules wasn't addressed in this update. But here's a new combo, one I like to call Monks with Knives Are Freaking Insane. The Nick property given to all daggers lets you make an additional attack with them when you take the attack action. Daggers are also monk weapons, so the d4 damage a dagger normally deals increases with your unarmed strike damage as you level up across the game. This means that with a single level in Ranger to grab Weapon Mastery, a level 11 monk can make 6 attacks every single turn. 3 with their daggers as the attack action, and 3 more with their flurry of blows. Your single level in Ranger also lets you cast Hunter's Mark twice per day without a spell slot. So if you cast that on your first turn, maybe as you move up to an enemy to get within melee range, on subsequent turns, a Mercy Monk is dishing out 7d10 plus 6d6 plus 33, assuming a Dex score of 20 and a Wisdom score of 16. That's 92 average damage at the cost of only 1 focus point per turn. Plus, you get other nice Ranger spells and a couple of spell slots for the occasional Detect Magic or Goodberry utility. You've gotta love the new Monk. But if there's one thing I love better than being a monk, it is being a playable Kraken. Nistle's Magic Aura is a spell you've probably never heard of, but it got an update in this book. Essentially, you target a willing creature and name a creature type, and then all spells that target that creature treat the creature as if it's the creature type that you named. Get it? So, for example, you hit a Kraken with Charm Monster, and for the next minute, it is your buddy. Then you hit your new pal with Nistle's Magic Aura, making it a humanoid for the purpose of all spells. Now, you can hit your humanoid Kraken victim with Magic Jar. This is a complicated spell, but it basically lets you swap your soul into the body of another humanoid within 100 feet. You gain that creature's body, hit points, hit point dice, their strength, dex, and constitution scores, their movement speed, and their senses, but you retain all your other features, including your class features. So essentially, you permanently become a Kraken with 30 strength, 25 constitution, 472 hit points, while having all your spells and feats, and you're a freaking Kraken, man! You are gargantuan sized, you are tentacled, you are beautiful, and this is all possible from only level 11, which isn't that hard to reach. As always, being a divination wizard to access the portent feature to force the Kraken to fail its saving throw against your charm monster is the most reliable way to do this. It's also a great concept for a villain if you're a GM watching this and taking notes. Personally, I really like all of these combos. They are funny, but some of them probably will need to be banned if you're trying to play serious Dungeons & Dragons. But if you want a bunch more awesome stuff to add to your games, which is equally fun but also balanced, you can support this channel on Patreon. I release a full magazine every month with new subclasses, species, feats, spells, rules expansions, and ready-to-play adventures. It also helps keep this channel going, despite fluctuating ad rates on YouTube. Also remember to like and subscribe, check out other videos on the channel, and yeah, that's all I got. I'll see you next time.